Welcome to episode 45 of the World Builder's Anvil. I'm your host, Jeffrey W. Ingram, and today's topic, 'Cause I Need a Magic Wand. Don't know where to start building your fantasy world? Do you need more? Does it make sense? Forget any worries and become a crafter of imagination. This is the place that will help prime your mind. Now, it's time to heat up the forge, break out the mithril ingots and hammer. Welcome to the World Builder's Anvil. I'm your host, Jeffrey W. Ingram. Let's sup from the mug of Java and build. Okay, welcome back. And what I'm really talking about today, and 'cause I need a magic wand, is the idea of character motivation. And there's a lot of very interesting ways you can look at this. The basic way I like to think of a character is from something I learned in college called Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And he broke it down into 5 basic areas that are usually represented in a pyramid. And the first is physiological, and it's sort of like the physiological needs of your body. You need water, you need food. Some people would say other more intimate things are needed as well. And that is sort of the physiological needs, the basic sort of inputs and outputs of your body. Going to the bathroom would be a physiological need. And then along with that is safety. Safety is a huge one, even though typically, if I remember correctly in college, it's very repetitive. Like you need security of body, security of home, security of this and that. But essentially, really, when you talk about safety is, do you have safety and security in your life? Do you have a way to provide food for your family? Do you have the knowledge that your family is safe? And then what he does is he bundles those 2 levels together, and I think it's called basic needs. And essentially, his argument is you need both of those levels of the pyramid to move higher up into the pyramid and into the next 2 levels, which is love and belonging. Love and belonging, hugely important one, I think. You need friends. You need loved ones. You need your spouse. You need your family. You need things around you that, you love or you belong to. So it could be important clubs or civic organizations that you belong to, things that give you a sense of belonging and community. So you can kind of see when you talk about like love and belonging, besides the more obvious things of love with like your spouse or with family, or friendship, it's a sense of belonging and it's sort of something bringing you into society. It could be holding office. I mean, there's really, I think a lot of things really fall under love and belonging. And then once you get through love and belonging, there is esteem. And it's both self-esteem, which is sort of, your esteem for yourself. And beyond esteem for yourself, it's others having esteem in you. So it's not enough to belong to that group of Masons, we'll say. You want to be like a leader. You want to be held up as an exemplary Mason. Or you would be held up as an exemplary lion. Or one of the leadership in your local legislature. That would be esteem. Or if you're a civic leader, maybe you want the people of the community to look up towards you. So they look to you for help. They look to you for advice, for getting them through their struggles for their basic level needs. You want to be sort of that go-to person that people believe in, who can help perform for that community. And that's really where esteem is. And then those 2 are bundled together. I think that's called like the advanced level. And so in the hierarchy of needs, once you've gone through the basic and advanced levels, it opens you up to self-actualization. And that's sort of you reaching your pinnacle as a human being. Whether it's through like being really creative or being the best problem solver, like someone like Sherlock Holmes would have to be in the self-actualization level. Now, you can also think about that too, like from a spiritual standpoint, that you have to have all the other things in place to become self-actualized, to become, to find your path to salvation. I don't know about that. And I really don't know about all the levels. I don't think they quite so directly interact I don't think they really quite so directly interact that we think they do with each other. Even though I think I want to put together some kind of pyramid thing on a character list for people to be able to actually track, what level is this person at. But it gives you an idea of sort of a guidance through life. Self-actualization is the pinnacle achievement of the person. Physiological, is just taking care of your basic need. Do I have food? Do I have grub? Can I go to the bathroom? Those are basic needs that I have to have taken care of. And once I have those, and I can have some security knowing that I'm safe, the people around me are safe, I can move up this chart. So I use it as a rough guideline. I don't necessarily believe there's like a hard and steady fast between levels or between every two levels that says you can't become self-actualized without having all of the other levels dealt with. But it's a good way to think of that's how people progress through lives. They figure out how to take care of the basic things. Once they do that, they figure out how to protect themselves, to protect those around them. Once they figure that out, they go off on their own. They get married. They start getting friends. They start joining organizations that they belong to. And once they do that and they start interacting with the world at that level, then people start respecting them for the achievements they're bringing forward. And then they can reach the pinnacle of their life, which is the self-actualized section. So this is a very brief episode today talking about character motivations. And so now how to tie this back to characters. Well, it's important. I look at characters from two different ways. I look at characters as questioning themselves, and I call that who am I? And I look at it from cause I need a magic wand. And cause I need a magic wand would probably be, I would say, it could be in any of those stages except for maybe self-actualized. But, these are sort of the core fundamental beliefs of a person. These are the things that drive them forward. It doesn't say how much or how little effort it takes. It doesn't say anything like that. That's the who am I part. If I'm a bit creative, it doesn't really show up here. But my desires, my needs, these are things that sort of show up here. And where I rank on the pyramid is where I personally, or where I rank the character on the pyramid, helps me figure out their skill levels. It helps me figure out their skill levels. It helps me figure out where they're going next in life. And their social status and stuff like that are also going to play this stuff. If you're not king, it's hard to shoot for that goal. If you're not prince, or related to the king, it's really hard to shoot for that role. If you're a peasant and you shoot for a kingdom, you're probably going to have a very short life if people ever take you seriously. So really all we're doing with, the motivations of a character is trying to understand where they're coming from and where they're going. And how much detail you put in here is up to you. At a basic level, I like to know where they stand on my pyramid. And I'll probably work one of those out so people can kind of see. But it's Maslow's pyramid modified for my characters. So it says where they are in life. I will also track, even though they're in a love and belonging stage, maybe they're still looking to get married. Or maybe they're looking to have children. Because part of them is in the stage doesn't mean their entire part is in the stage. And later on, when I go with who am I, for the character, I will sit there and say, what do they need? What do they want? And I kind of get what I need, what I want from this, and then I apply it through the who am I, which we will have in next week, I believe, will be that episode. Sort of right as I approach my 50th episode, which is coming up here shortly. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you take a moment to subscribe, rate, and review us on iTunes if you've not. If you wish to support us financially, I have no products out there right now. But what you can do, go clear your cache on your computer, click through an Amazon link on my site, and if you buy anything, you will not be charged an extra dime. However, Amazon will want to thank me for you going and visiting them. and I will get a portion of anything you buy, even if it's not the thing that you click through. But if it's the thing you click through, that's even cooler because that's either someone's been on my show or that's someone who is trying to get to, or that's someone who's provided content that's really cool. So let's remember to subscribe. Rate, and review the show. And if you get a chance, use one of our Amazon links to be able to go to Amazon and without being charged an extra dime, support the show. The rating for this episode is basic. This is a basic thing you need to know. You need to know where your characters are in their life, what are the struggles, how are they trying to get ahead. The world building task for the day. There's an interesting article I found earlier this week because I do a lot of research on the web. And the lady's name was Susan Windsor. She had this wonderful article about character motivations from a writing standpoint. I think it was called Writing from the Sideways, I believe was the name of the blog, but I could be wrong with that because it's not listed in my show notes. But there is a link there under the World Builder task. Go check out that article. It's sort of an interesting way, different ways to find characters if you don't have any in mind, but you're looking to build characters. Whether it's kind of my idea of figuring out where they are. She has additional stuff on talking about how to try and, pick a friend and pick a few traits from them and start from there. And a few different kinds of ideas that are interesting, especially if you're struggling to find a character to start talking about. Great article to go check out, I think. The real world task for the day. Plan and market when you are awake. And do your creative work when you are tired. That's right. Be tired when you do it. And this is from another article that I saw from Belle Beth Cooper. And the first thing she talked about was people tend to be more creative when they are tired. So if you're trying to write your fiction, do it when you're tired. When you're trying to sell your fiction and figuring out how to do that kind of stuff, do that when you're awake. The advantage is, I think, when your mind is more tired, natural defenses that might block you are slower to come into place maybe. And I don't know if this will work for everyone. So try it out if you're used to getting up and writing in the morning first thing. Try and do it when you get really tired. If it works better for you, run with it. Give it a week, run with it. And if it doesn't, go back to your old routine. Because these things, I don't always trust that they work completely for everyone. But they're always worth checking out. And there's going to be a link to her article in my real world task for the day as well, too. Now the T's. World building trap. World to story. Dun, dun, dun. And as always, make sure to go to gardul.com. That's GARDUL.com for the show notes. It'll be under podcasting, World Builders Anvil. That's a great place to get all of the information from the episode that you've just listened to and to see all the resources that we've talked about in this episode. Thanks for joining us this episode of the World Builders Anvil. Please be sure to rate and review us in iTunes, and please help get the word out to your friends about our show. And join me, Jeffrey W. Ingram at Gardul.com, to see the progress of my world and learn why I made the choices I did. And please contact me and let me know the topics you would love to hear in the future. Now strike while the myth rolls high.